Have you ever walked through your front door and felt an immediate sense that something just wasn't quite right? Like the air felt heavier than it should, or the room felt darker than you remembered? Perhaps you looked around and saw stacks of magazines you never read, or a couch you once loved but that now only reminds you of your aching back. Or maybe you just felt this quiet discomfort you couldn't fully explain. If you can relate to that feeling, then I want you to stick with me right now and watch this video all the way through, because at the end I'm going to share a final crucial tip that so many people overlook, yet it can truly pull all the other changes together and help you feel an amazing sense of comfort and joy in your own home. While you're here, remember to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like if you find these ideas helpful, because we'll be diving into even more ways to improve your living space in future videos, and your support helps us bring you the best possible content. Now let's get into it. You might have spent decades in the same place, or perhaps you've downsized or moved into a new location, and you're wondering why the space doesn't feel as good as you expected. The truth is, making a home truly comfortable after 60 isn't about following some magazine perfect blueprint. It's about looking at your living environment through new eyes, recognizing that your body, your taste, and your priorities may have changed over the years, and then making small tweaks that can spark big transformations in how you feel every time you step across that threshold. It doesn't require massive renovations or a huge budget. Often, just a handful of approachable shifts in organization, decor, layout, and mindset can turn a home that feels so into a place that quite literally breathes relief and warmth back into your daily life. Even better, these changes often have a ripple effect. Once you fix one piece, you'll notice new energy to tackle the next, and you'll find yourself falling back in love with a space you might have started to take for granted. By the time we reach 60, most of us have a fair bit of life experience, plenty of memories stored away in boxes, closets, and attics, and quite often we also have a lot of clutter we're not aware of until we start paying close attention. The first subtle but powerful change you might consider is releasing yourself from the weight of unnecessary items. It's very common to hold on to pieces of clothing, stacks of paperwork, knickknacks, kitchen gadgets, or even entire pieces of furniture that no longer serve a real function in your everyday life. You might have an emotional attachment to them, but whenever you see them, you subconsciously feel that pull, like you should do something about them, or you wonder why you haven't used them in so long. That mental drain is real, and it can quietly sap your energy day after day. Picture yourself walking into your living room and seeing only objects that you either truly love or regularly use, with nothing else competing for your attention. The effect is calming, liberating, and surprisingly uplifting. When you start clearing out old clutter, you're not just making physical space, you're making emotional space. It's much easier to enjoy your daily routines, have friends over, or simply lounge around with a good book when you don't feel the weight of undone tasks staring at you from every corner. If you find the idea of decluttering your entire house overwhelming, try tackling it little by little. Maybe one drawer a day, or a single corner of a single room, so that it feels like a manageable project, not a punishment. Each time you clear an area and organize it in a way that suits who you are now, you'll get a small jolt of satisfaction and motivation to keep going. Of course, as you clear space, you can also introduce a fresh sense of order. It might be as simple as labeling boxes, or investing in a few storage bins that make it easier to stow seasonal items out of sight, or rearranging your closet so that everyday clothes are at eye level rather than stuffed into hard-to-reach corners. You want to reduce friction in your daily life, so you never feel like you're wrestling with your own home. There's a subtle mental shift when your surroundings stop fighting against you and start supporting the way you actually live. Another rewarding shift is to focus on the colors in your space. Color is a powerful mood influencer. Think of the last time you walked into a room painted in a bright, cheerful hue versus a dull, grayish tone. Or recall how certain restaurants use color to influence appetite. It's all about the emotional cues color can send. When you're over 60, you deserve shades that bring warmth, tranquility, or energy, depending on your personal preferences. Maybe you used to love a beige or white palette because it felt clean and modern, but now you long for something more lively, like a soft sage green on the walls or a sunny yellow accent pillow. Or perhaps you crave a more serene environment, and find that pale blues or gentle lavenders soothe you each evening. Pay attention to how you feel when you see these colors. Do you feel calm, happy, invigorated, or do you feel washed out or depressed? Switch out drab curtains, introduce a vivid throw blanket, or even repaint a focal wall if you have the energy for a quick DIY project. You don't have to do it all at once, but little touches of color here and there can transform the ambience. And if you're enjoying these ideas so far, remember to click that subscribe button and give this video a like, because we'll keep bringing you more tips on how to enhance every aspect of your living space in ways that truly matter. And your support lets us grow this community of people who want to make their homes feel better than ever. Another key area of improvement involves the actual furniture you use and how it's arranged. Think carefully about whether the seating in your home is comfortable for your body right now. Maybe 20 years ago, you could hop off a low futon with zero knee pain, but these days, you need a chair that's the right height, the right firmness, and supports your lumbar region so you don't pay the price later. Is your dining table at the correct level to allow you to sit comfortably for extended conversations or a leisurely dinner? Do you have a sturdy side table next to your favorite spot on the couch, so you aren't constantly twisting or leaning over to reach your drink or your reading glasses? Look around and consider whether your current setup helps or hinders you. It might be that you want to downsize some of the overly large or cumbersome pieces in your home. If you rarely have big gatherings, do you really need that giant dining set that takes up half the room? Could you swap it for a smaller, more functional table that opens up floor space and is easier on your eyes and your joints? Or if you do love hosting family or friends, can you rearrange the living room so people can sit closer together without yelling across a massive coffee table? Sometimes, shifting the layout can create intimate conversation areas that encourage togetherness. Small changes like removing a side chair that no one ever sits in can give you more room to move around safely, reducing the risk of tripping. Another factor is how everything is stored. If you have to bend too far or reach too high for items you use on a daily basis, like plates, cups, or cooking utensils, you'll find everyday tasks becoming more taxing than they need to be. This is especially crucial in the kitchen or bathroom, where you might find yourself stooping or stretching repeatedly. Think about rearranging shelves so the most frequently used items are conveniently accessible. The best tip is to keep the weight you lift at about waist or chest level, so you aren't straining your back or risking a slip. And if you've got a big old bookshelf filled with dusty volumes you never touch, maybe you can donate the ones that hold zero sentimental or practical value, and free up space for what you do want accessible, such as new books, family photos, or even small decorative pieces that bring you joy. Another area that can profoundly impact comfort is lighting. If you've ever walked into a dimly lit room and immediately felt your energy dip, you know how powerful illumination can be. Conversely, a space that's flooded with harsh fluorescent glare can feel clinical or give you a headache. Aim for a balance. Natural light is best if you can manage it, so consider whether there's anything blocking your windows that could be removed. Heavy drapes might be replaced with lighter, breezier curtains that let the sunshine spill in. Where natural light isn't sufficient, use layered lighting, a warm overhead lamp, plus a floor or table lamp for reading, and maybe a small accent light or two to highlight a favorite painting or a nook you love. As we age, our eyes typically need more light, so don't be shy about adding lamps where you need them most. Daylight bulbs or full-spectrum lights can help mimic natural illumination if your windows face a shady spot. Also, think about dimmer switches if you want the option to set a calmer mood in the evening. People sometimes underestimate how mood-boosting it is to be able to adjust the lighting to exactly what you prefer, whether you're writing a letter, reading a novel, or entertaining a friend for tea. That leads naturally into the next point: ensuring your home has touches of nature or elements that echo the outdoors. Bringing in a little greenery can do wonders for your psychological well-being, not to mention improving air quality. Even if you don't have a green thumb, there are varieties like snake plants or pahos that are famously forgiving. You can place a plant or two near a window, or on a side table, so you see them often and remember to water them. If you truly can't or don't want live plants, high-quality artificial greenery can still create a fresher vibe. But if you do like the idea of living plants, you might also explore an herb garden in your kitchen window. Imagine the scent of fresh basil or rosemary at your fingertips each time you prepare a meal. That small connection to nature can lift your mood more than you might think. Another way to bring nature indoors is to incorporate natural materials. Maybe that means a wicker basket for blankets, a wooden coffee table with a lovely grain, or stone coasters that remind you of a riverbed. Textures inspired by the outdoors can create a sense of warmth and grounding. You could also decorate with photos or paintings of landscapes you find soothing or inspiring, like a tranquil beach or a serene forest scene. The idea is to break away from strictly manufactured or glossy surfaces and let your environment have a softer, more organic touch that resonates with many people's desire for calm. Yet another subtle but meaningful change is to reduce the noise and disruptions caused by technology, especially if they no longer serve your day-to-day life in a positive way. Maybe you have multiple screens or devices that buzz and beep constantly, scattering your attention. If you find that draining, you can create a special spot for those devices so they're not always in sight or making noise while you're trying to relax. Or you might establish a rule that meals are technology-free time, so you can savor your food and your company without the distraction of notifications. This is especially beneficial if you notice your stress levels spike when you hear message alerts, or if you catch yourself mindlessly scrolling instead of enjoying a moment of peace or creativity. You're not required to be available to everyone 24/7, and your home should be a space that respects your boundaries. Think about how liberating it could be to carve out a small reading nook or creativity corner that's deliberately tech-free. Perhaps you place a comfortable chair, a little side table for tea, a lamp for good lighting, and a shelf of books or craft supplies, then keep phones and tablets out of that space. This kind of mindful setup can make it far easier for you to unwind or pursue a hobby you enjoy without feeling pulled in multiple directions by electronic demands. Another dimension of home comfort is the sensory experience, especially scent and sound. If you enjoy fragrance, you might try placing fresh flowers in your home or using an essential oil diffuser with gentle scents like lavender, citrus, or eucalyptus. These scents can help you associate your home with relaxation or renewed energy, depending on your preference. Just be sure to choose natural options if you're sensitive to chemicals. When it comes to sound, if you're near a busy street or there's a lot of external noise creeping in, you might invest in heavier curtains or some level of soundproofing. Even a plush rug can help absorb echo in a room, making it feel cozier and quieter. On the flip side, if you love music, you might set up an easy way to play soft tunes in the background during your morning routines or while you're preparing dinner. If you live alone, that little bit of ambient sound can fill the space with a comforting atmosphere. Remember, your home can be shaped around your personal lifestyle, so it's worth thinking about how to incorporate or minimize various sounds. Now, as you fine-tune these aspects of your home, do not underestimate the power of personal touches. Sometimes in an attempt to make everything look streamlined or clutter-free, we end up hiding the very things that define us. Displaying a few meaningful photos or cherished keepsakes can be a lovely way to honor your story and make you smile whenever you see them. The key is not to go overboard to the point of clutter. Maybe you hang a small gallery of family photos on a wall, or you place a handful of souvenirs from your travels on a dedicated shelf. Then, once in a while, rotate these items so your space feels fresh. You might swap the pictures with new ones or reorganize a corner so it always has something interesting to catch your eye. This way, your home tells the tale of your life's journey in a tasteful, curated manner that sparks joy instead of collecting dust. A related point is to consider your daily routines and whether your home's layout supports them, or if it's stuck reflecting a chapter of your life that's long past. For instance, if you no longer host big dinner parties like you used to, maybe the formal dining room can be repurposed into a workspace for a hobby or an area for yoga. If you prefer casual meals at a cozy breakfast nook, you might shift more comfortable chairs into that spot so you can linger over coffee without retreating to the living room. If you love painting, maybe you carve out a corner by a window for your easel and materials so you can pick up a brush whenever inspiration strikes. On the other hand, if you do love entertaining, but find the layout cumbersome for conversation, experiment with rearranging the couches and chairs in your living room so guests naturally face each other, removing large coffee tables that force people to shout across the room. Don't be afraid to move furniture away from walls or to an unexpected angle if it better serves the practical flow of conversation and movement. You might discover the arrangement you had for 20 years is no longer optimal now that your gatherings look different. And if you're still watching, I appreciate you staying with me. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that like button, because your engagement makes it possible for me to keep sharing tips that can help transform your space into the home you've always wanted. This next piece might be the simplest yet most overlooked, making sure your bedroom is truly conducive to restful sleep. After 60, quality rest is vital for both physical health and emotional well-being. If your mattress has lumps, or your pillows leave your neck stiff in the morning, consider upgrading. Even a high-quality mattress topper can work wonders if you're not ready for a whole new bed. Also think about bedding materials. Pure cotton, bamboo, or linen can feel much nicer against your skin than synthetic fabrics that trap heat or irritate you. Block out light if it keeps you awake, either with better curtains or a gentle eye mask. Keep the temperature slightly cooler at night, if possible, as many experts recommend cooler rooms for better sleep. If you enjoy a certain soft scent, maybe a lavender sachet near the bed can help you drift off more easily. The more you make your bedroom a peaceful retreat rather than a catch-all for clutter and tasks, the more likely you'll awake feeling refreshed. While you're looking around your home, also consider safety features that can prevent accidents. None of us likes to dwell on the possibility of falls, but it's far better to prepare your space to minimize risks than to take a tumble. Check your floors for tripping hazards like unsecured rugs or loose cords. If you have steps leading into or out of certain rooms, ensure there's good lighting and maybe even a handrail for stability. In the bathroom, a simple grab bar near the shower or tub can make a world of difference, and slip-resistant mats can prevent dangerous slips. Installing a nightlight or two in hallways can help if you ever need to get up during the night. These small measures help you maintain independence and peace of mind, and they're not necessarily ugly or hospital-like. Many modern safety fixtures come in designs that blend with typical home decor. Let's also address the often unspoken issue of sentimental clutter. Perhaps you've collected decades of birthday cards, letters, children's artwork, or souvenirs from trips long ago. There's no shame in cherishing memories, but there may come a point where you have more than you can reasonably enjoy or store. If it's causing stress or crowding you out of your own space, consider archiving them digitally or making a scrapbook of your absolute favorites. That way, you preserve what's meaningful without letting old papers accumulate in every corner. Sometimes we convince ourselves that discarding an object means discarding the memory, but that's rarely the case. You can keep the essence of a memory by framing one lovely photo or letter and displaying it. Or scan it so you have a digital copy to revisit anytime. Freeing physical space often frees mental space too. Another theme you might embrace is learning to rotate decorations so your home remains interesting. For example, if you have more art or family photos than you can display tastefully, choose a few at a time to highlight, then switch them out every couple of months. This process keeps your environment fresh, and it's a delightful way to revisit different chapters of your life or your family's growth. Plus, when guests visit, they'll notice the changes and it becomes a conversation starter. You avoid visual clutter because you're not trying to showcase everything at once. That can keep your space feeling calm and curated rather than crammed. Also, consider how easy or difficult it is to maintain your chosen decor. If you have too many fragile knickknacks or high-maintenance plants, you might find yourself spending more energy dusting and watering than actually enjoying your home. There's a balance between making your space personal and turning it into a chore. If you like low-maintenance living, choose items that don't require constant upkeep. If you adore gardening, that's a different story. Maybe you enjoy caring for indoor plants daily, and that's part of the pleasure. It all depends on your preferences. Another aspect is openness to rearranging as your life evolves. If you try a new layout for your living room and discover it's not quite as comfortable as you hoped, there's no shame in moving it around again. You're not locked into a single design plan. Similarly, if certain items used to be vital but no longer serve you, it's okay to let them go. Don't cling to furniture just because it was expensive or it used to be perfect years back. Focus on the present moment and what supports you now. If you do love hosting people in your home, think about whether your guest room or entertainment area is set up with comfort in mind. If you seldom have overnight visitors, maybe that guest room would better serve as a multifunctional space, part home office, part craft or reading nook. On the other hand, if you have frequent visitors, ensure the bed is comfortable, the linens are fresh, and any personal touches, like a reading lamp or a small basket of toiletries, make guests feel truly welcome. A final subtle change worth mentioning is giving yourself permission to display or emphasize what genuinely lights you up. If you collect something that gives you joy, like vintage teacups, miniature sculptures, or certain types of paintings, curate them in a way that highlights them as a charming feature rather than letting them get scattered around the house. Similarly, if you have a passion for music, keep your instrument accessible so it's easy to practice. Maybe that means setting up a small corner with a piano or guitar and a comfortable seat. Or if you adore board games or puzzles, create an inviting table area that's always ready for a quick game or puzzle session. By giving pride of place to the activities and collections that you love, you'll find yourself drawn to engage with them more often. And if you've watched this far, I want to reward your attention and dedication by telling you the final crucial tip I teased at the beginning. It's to regularly reassess how your home makes you feel, season by season or year by year, so you never slide back into letting clutter pile up or letting your furnishings stay stuck in an old configuration that doesn't serve you. A home evolves along with its owner, so every now and then, do a quick mental check. Ask yourself if there's anything you've accumulated recently that you don't need, if the color scheme still matches your mood, if your lighting is still adequate, if your furniture arrangement supports your physical well-being, and if you're still excited to spend time in each room. By making these mini evaluations a habit, you ensure your space stays fresh, functional, and comfortable, rather than slipping into disarray or monotony. It's a lot like self-care. Just as you occasionally update your wardrobe or take time to reflect on your personal goals, you can do the same with your surroundings. Are you stepping into a bedroom that soothes you at night? Are you waking up to a kitchen that makes you smile? Or do you dread that moment because everything is out of place? Are you able to entertain guests spontaneously without feeling embarrassed by clutter? Are you able to do your favorite hobbies without rearranging half the house first? If the answer to any of these questions starts to become no, that's your gentle signal that an update is in order. Perhaps the best part is that these changes can be fun. You can involve friends, family, or grandchildren in the process. Maybe a loved one helps you paint an accent wall while you share stories and laughter. Or you turn on your favorite music while you sift through old photographs, deciding which ones to keep and which ones to store digitally. The act of reinvigorating your home can be a lovely bonding experience if you choose, or a peaceful solo endeavor that allows you to reconnect with your own preferences. The key is not to see it as a chore but as a creative journey toward living better. And that's really the heart of the matter. Living better, with more comfort, joy, and ease. When you're able to walk into your home and sense a tangible relief, that's when you know you've done something right. When your daily tasks flow without constant frustration, when the decor sparks contentment, and when you feel proud to show your space to others, even if it's small or modest, because it reflects who you are, you've achieved a wonderful harmony between your life and your environment. And after 60, that harmony can be a deeply nourishing source of peace. If you found these ideas helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel and like this video before you head off, because your engagement helps us continue creating more content focused on making life after 60, and well beyond, truly fulfilling and beautiful. By applying these suggestions, clearing out the clutter, ensuring furniture supports your needs, embracing color, introducing better lighting, connecting to nature, curating personal mementos carefully, and setting technology boundaries, you'll discover that your home can indeed become that sanctuary you've always wanted it to be. And by remembering that final tip, regularly reassessing how your space works for you, you'll keep it from ever going stale again. May your home always welcome you with open arms, warmth, and the gentle reminder that this space is entirely yours to shape. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you so much for joining me on this journey of making your home the most comfortable and uplifting place it can possibly be.